Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that's Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, do not adjust your screen. Yes, it is me, your boy, Sean Spencer, filling in for my good buddy, Mr. Nathan Snell, host of this great show, Big Nate SportsTalk Podcast. My guy is got to take care of the health, man. Got to take care of himself, and he's going to be A-okay. Definitely look forward to him coming in on Friday and coming in the rest of this week. Going to hit some college basketball, some WNBA, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You know, I love what Nate's got going on. He's already here in the comments, man. Let me do a little housekeeping and share this. What's good, Nate? What's good, big dog? Man, I'm here just trying to help my buddy out, you know what I'm saying? Get on here and, see what we got working on. Talk about some free agency news. I'm super excited about that. Bear with me for just a second. Nate, if you can share this to some of the other things, I think we can get some other people in here watching. Wanted to just do a quick welcome. Shout out to all of you that are here watching. Nathan, amongst other people, man. Definitely want to say a quick thank you to all the people that are here supporting my guy, Mr. Nathan Snell, king of late night, doing big things, man. This man works tirelessly to bring you the news, the notes, the updates, the latest up to the minute type stuff. He goes all throughout the globe looking for all this different information to bring it to you in the best way that he possibly can. And I love you for that, my dude. You doing big things. Yeah, he's saying, he'll be back on, ladies and gentlemen, for Scherzer. I think did you just send it to the group? Yeah, I think you just sent it to the group, man. So definitely join us in here as we talk football. There's been so many things that have happened. And ladies and gentlemen, unless you have been under a rock, I mean, people have been moving left and right. I think today we had a huge move that not all of us saw coming. So I definitely am eager to get into that. That's definitely gonna be something that's something nice. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get right on into it, man. Let's dive into this thing. As I said, I am your host, Sean Spencer, filling in for my guy, Mr. Nathan Snell, and we're going to talk a little bit of NFL free agency, ladies and gentlemen, man. And let me just give you my thoughts. I mean, first and foremost, one of the things I was saying on Washington Football Weekly, which I just hopped off with my guy Will Kramer, is you look at 2021 and you look at some of the rosters on 2021, and then you look at what we're about to deal with in 2022 in these rosters. I mean, you won't be able to recognize a lot of the different names. One of the big moves that we saw just happen today, Tyreek Hill was not going to be able to get the money that he wanted with the Chiefs. So he went elsewhere. He is in Miami, ladies and gentlemen. I know my guy Bobby Wills is pretty excited about that. Tyreek Hill signed with the Miami Dolphins. Can you believe it? Man, him and Jalen Waddell, they are now the fastest wide receiver duo in the league. I am excited about that. I want to see what they got. And I think the early humor, Nicholas Rosario talking about Mr. Tua Tagovailoa can't get it that far down the field. And we will see if that will happen. As we know, there is a division that's the winner. We're talking about winners and losers in this free agency, but there's a division that definitely has taken the cake, and that's that AFC West. We knew about the Chiefs, who now the Chiefs not looking as threatening as they once were in losing Tyreek Hill. They still have their big name guys, and they acquired Juju Smith-Schuster. So big name receiver. Maybe he stopped doing them TikTok videos. Let me get off that real quick. But then you got Russell Wilson definitely making that Broncos team a contender. Absolutely. Love what he has going, what he will have going on there. In Denver, you have Khalil Mack going over from the Chicago Bears to the LA Chargers to help out the Bosa's and the Derwin James of the world, and that nice defense. You got Herbert coming back one of the top young guns in the AFC. And then the Raiders, not to be outdone. We know the year that they had a year ago. They just picked up Davante Adams. And Davante Adams and Derek Carr, these guys are buddies. You know, they've known each other from back when. And Davante Adams was going to go to the Raiders in 2016, 2017. But the Packers, they gave him a better deal, so he stayed with them. But he's back, ladies and gentlemen. And the Raiders, the Broncos, the Chargers, I mean, all of them were in the hunt at one point or another last year, and I think all of them will be in the hunt. We might have 3 or 4 teams. I don't know if we're going to have 4, but we're going to have 3 teams from that division in the playoffs. It is just like the NFC West was a year ago. Super excited about it. As we also know, Carson Wentz traded to Washington. And you know what? I'm going to be optimistic. I'm positive about it. I like it. You know, we're going to see what moves we make elsewhere. We haven't made that many. But look, let's just dive right into it. And let's focus on the winners. Who won free agency? And again, free agency is not over just yet. But as of right now, we got several teams that are definitely taking the cake. But we're going to start with my guy, Nathan Snell, talk about his Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, ladies and gentlemen, are definitely looked at as potential winners here. They picked up Morgan Moses, my guy, from, he played for the Jets, but we had him in Washington. Definitely one of those fixtures on the O-line. They picked up defensive tackle Michael Pierce from the Vikings. Big name signing getting from the Saints. They ended up getting Marcus Williams at safety, which will help. We knew the issues that they had in the secondary towards the end of last year. And, Marcus Williams, I'm really excited to see what he does. We know how good he was with New Orleans. I'm excited to see what he does back home. And back home, as I say, in Baltimore. And another re-signing they had, Patrick Richard, who was a solid fullback in a league that doesn't really use fullbacks as much. I think he's definitely an asset to that offense and that very, very high-powered running offense. And then obviously you have your guys, Marcus Peters coming back, Marlon Humphreys coming back. You got these guys being able to come back to a team that, 11 games into the season last year, 8-3, leading the number 1 team in the AFC. So I like that. I don't think you said, oh, you don't think this is the end? Yeah, it's not. I believe I'm right there with you. I definitely don't think it's the end at all. I think there's still some moves that will be made. Washington, who has been noticeably quiet in the offseason, definitely needs to make some moves. Right here, Nathan said, which is crazy because we, the members of the Raven Flocks, didn't want Richard back. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people are in this new style of offense where you want to sit here and get guys, that are all, focus on receivers and running backs that can catch and things of that nature. Well, I got to say, man, I'm an old school running back. I played running back all throughout high school, even got a partial scholarship at Virginia State playing running back. I loved my fullback. My fullback was my guy. You know what I mean? Coughlin, Michael Dale, some of these guys that played fullback, Duriel, these guys were the lead blocker, the thunder to my lightning. So having Ricard on the as your lead blocker for either Lamar, who is your star quarterback, or whatever of the bounty of running backs, hopefully healthy, that you have in your backfield, hey, you need a Ricard. You need somebody that's going to lead up into that hole. Hey, shout out to it. Hopefully this definitely translates. I understand how the Ravens fans could be. Washington fans are the same exact way. This is going to be interesting. I do love that move for Morgan Moses as well because, like I said, we loved him in Washington. Absolutely loved him, and he's a fixture on that line. He will do whatever in his power to get on that field, and I think Lamar Jackson, you are welcome. I think you are definitely going to love having him there. Another one of these teams that is definitely a winner in this draft. I gotta sit here and talk about these guys because they are amazing. And I talked about them a little bit earlier. The Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, now we know about them going ahead and getting Khalil Mack from the Bears. That was so huge. But they also got J.C. Jackson from the Patriots. That move to me is solidifying that secondary that already had Derwin James. You already had a secondary that was ready to hold down the fort. But now you've added members to that linebacker crew and that D line. Sebastian Joseph Day from the Rams, and obviously, like I talked about, Khalil Mack with Nick Bosa. You know what I mean? These guys, the Chargers, can somebody say favorites? I mean, maybe I'm speaking too soon. I don't know. Talk to me, people. I think they might have made themselves the favorites in definitely that division, and shoot, maybe even the AFC top 5 team. I mean, I got to say, Gerald Everett, tight end, came from the Seattle. I think that is going to be a big help to Justin Herbert. They signed Mike Williams back. We know they got Keenan Allen. That air attack this year is going to be through the roof, in my opinion. Yeah. And then Nathan said it right there. AFC West is a bloodbath. Absolutely. It absolutely is going to be just a slaughter. I'm predicting it right now. 3 teams will be in the playoffs from the AFC West, and one of those teams will be in the AFC Championship. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Guarantee. Absolutely. Had to take that one for you, Nate. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, hey, and I, like I mentioned, the AFC, we talked about the AFC West. You know, the Chiefs are not they aren't that favorite right now. They're not that favorite. And one of the main reasons why another team in the AFC West is tearing it up in free agency and this offseason. And you know who that is? That's the Denver Broncos, led by their newest acquisition, Mr. Russell Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. You know how the Broncos feel right now. Yes, they are so hyped right now. The Broncos are like, come on. How did this happen? I wish I was a Broncos fan right now. I would be like, let's go. I would be so hyped about it. But outside of that, they got a new D tackle, DJ Jones from the 49ers, and an amazing move. Oh, I wish my Cowboys fans were here. I wish Ash was here. An amazing move. The Denver Broncos steal Randy Gregory from the Cowboys. So beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. Randy Gregory, as we know, had signed to the Cowboys. It looked like it. But apparently, not even 24 hours later, the Denver Broncos were the one who inked the deal, and they were able to get Mr. Randy Gregory. He now joins a star-studded cast of members on that team. Gregory, who will line up opposite of Bradley Chubb, and we know what kind of force he is on defense. But Russell Wilson's got an abundance of wide receivers that he's coming with. Talk about my guy, fantasy favorite, Tim Patrick, Jared Jeudy, who's been ready to break out, Cortland Sutton, who has been a man amongst boys doing his thing. I'm telling you, that offense is going to be solid. They got my guy, Javonte Williams, out of North Carolina, who balled out, split time with Melvin Gordon. Now, Melvin Gordon's still a free agent, but if they can go ahead and pick him back up, that would be a pretty solid move. That would be a pretty solid move. And the Broncos, man, I'm telling you, this is going to be one of those teams, one of those 3, in my opinion, that will not only be in the playoffs, potentially could make a move or 2. Definitely have to wait till Russell gets adjusted to the system. But I'm telling you, he didn't go that far. Seattle to Colorado, Denver, Colorado's not that far. So we'll see how that flow goes. But I do like that Russell Wilson has already started to acclimate himself into that whole the Denver community. He was already spotted like right after he got the deal and came over to Denver. He was already visiting local hospitals and talking to the kids and whatnot, and just being the humanitarian that he is. I love it. I absolutely love it. Oh man, Jamer said, "Oh my God, I can't believe they traded Stephen Gertz to Tyreek Hill." Oh yeah, oh yeah, Robert. I knew you'd be happy about it, Bobby. I knew you'd be happy. Tyreek Hill is with Miami, and look, hey Bobby, since you are here, let's go right ahead because that is definitely one of. Oh no, that's not on this team, but I'm going to go ahead and put you guys up there. Miami, I believe, in my opinion, definitely one of the teams that has won this free agency, and that move might have been upped today, but yes, it had to happen. They were able to get Tyreek Hill, who, as we know, one of the fastest wide receivers in the game, nicknamed Cheetah, and now he will go alongside 4.36 40 runner, Mr. Jalen Waddell, Mr. Waddle. You know what I mean? Like, I love that. Yo, watch out for Miami. Watch out for Miami. They're doing it. They also signed Bridgewater to back up, which is actually a very smart thing. We've seen what he did with the Saints, where he backed up Breeze and then ended up coming in there and doing big things for them in just those 4 or 5 games that he was able to play. You got Edmonds in the backfield, who they just picked up another runner, if I'm not mistaken. Hit me up. Let me know who else they picked up at running back. Miami will be a threat this year. I do not know. I can't give them the division. Buffalo, as we know, another one of the teams that definitely got an A for in off season. They are going to be elite, absolutely elite. I got them coming out of the AFC this year. So there it is. That's who it is. Thank you, Bobby. Raheem Mostert. Yo, they got speed on that offense. They have absolute speed on that offense. I'm so excited to see what they can bring to the table. And Bobby, you're in here. Let me know what you think. The questions have been the arm strength of Tua. Is that a serious concern? Is that, you know what I mean? Is this a guy that can really take the top off of defense? We know how good Tua is, but with these receivers that are going to be definitely taking tops off the defense, you need a guy that can launch the ball. We'll see what Tua brings to the table, but I guarantee having Edmonds and having Raheem Mostert in the backfield, Gesicki at tight end, it's definitely going to be some nice moves for Miami. But I personally, if we're going this early, I'm still taking them. I'm still taking them at number 3. I still think Buffalo, by far, I think Buffalo, this is their year. And New England, that defense, now they got Malcolm Butler back. It's going to be close, but I can also see two teams coming out of the AFC East. Bobby says 29-50 in a 4th this year, 4th and 6th next year. Jets offered a better package. Okay. Yes, Del, thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Please like the stream. Please subscribe to my guy, Mr. Nathan Snell, host of this show, Big Nate SportsTalk Podcast. I am your host, guest hosting for my guy, Nathan, today. He is sitting here just taking care of stuff he need to take care of, trying to help my guy out. No doubt. Yo, I do want to also mention something. Shout out to my guy, Cam. Shout out to the family, man. Shout out to Bo Ryan, the only family member we have that is a Colts fan. In my opinion, another team that has won the free agency, and it just happens quickly. Hey, the Colts, don't sleep on the Colts. They just picked up Matt Ryan, which is a huge help for them. I think that trade, that contract was something I was iffy about, but picking up Matt Ryan, picking up Yannick Ngakoue, you already know about him, Nathan. You know, that's a huge signing for that DN and an already stout defense. They got Brandon Faison from the Raiders at corner. So they're definitely helping to keep that defense going. Let's see what Matt Ryan could do with a solid running game. I know a lot of you Atlanta people thought he was kind of washed up. I personally would have taken him. I didn't think he was going to leave Atlanta myself, but hey, I was proven wrong. Mo Alley Cox also got re-signed. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Colts can bring to the table. What's going on? That's Sydney into the building. What up, Sydney? Is this Big Sean Sports Talk? No, sir. I'm filling in for my guy, Mr. Nathan Snell. Let's go. What up, Ash? Oh, we talked about Randy Gregory. Should we go back to that? Should we go back to that, Ash? Oh, no, we don't have to. We don't have to. I'm not going to do that to you. Let's go. Yo, Bobby says, is Matt Ryan much of an upgrade over Wentz at this point? That's very interesting. Hey, look, Matt Ryan still puts up the numbers year in and year out. But look, Carson Wentz was 27-7 a year ago. Carson Wentz was not bad, and I was the one who called him out all year last year. So I honestly think for Carson Wentz, or not for Matt Ryan, I think this being in this situation will be good for him. I do somewhat think I have a little bit more confidence in Matt Ryan than I do in Carson Wentz personally. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Is it you know who made big moves in free agency? I know that Amari Cooper's gone. And Randy Gregory. Anybody else we want to talk about? Ash? We can talk about it if you'd like to. Let's go. Shout out to my homegirl, Ash Swinton, and her husband, Mr. Sydney Swinton, on this week. Let's Talk Football in the morning on Sunday. Held it down for me this weekend while I was out of town in that West Virginia. Up. They signed Anger, though. Did you really? Wait. Hold up. Where is it, Nate? Bear with me. I'm trying to get I got Nate's clips and all these things. That's what you get. You get that one. You get that clap. Look, Sydney said, Matt Ryan isn't going to lose you games by throwing a pick six on their own 4-yard line. Ooh, sounds like Kirk Cousins. Moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, I love it. Yo, another team. Hey, I'm going to go right back to where I was talking about in the AFC West. I talked to you about the Chargers and all the moves that they've made in the Broncos. The other team that has solidified themselves as being a part of this division, somebody that's looking to come in and make a name for themselves, the Raiders. The Raiders, in a huge move, acquiring Devontae Adams from the Green Bay Packers. They've got him set. He's with his old buddy, Derek Carr. Like, this is a big, big move. And you have that. And then you have Hunter Renfrow. What? Then you have Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs. Come on now. I think a lot of people are sleeping on what the Las Vegas Raiders have done this free agency. And I think this could be something that people are going to really, they might be surprised because the Raiders are coming out the woodworks right now. They also acquired Chandler Jones. They got Brandon Bolden at running back from the Patriots. You know what I mean? Anthony Everett from the Ravens. Shout out to them. The Las Vegas Raiders, who took them to the very last week of the season. It took them to overtime in the very last game of the season to make it to the playoffs. Almost were able to knock out the eventual AFC champions. They made moves that I really, really feel are going to push them this next season. And like I said, I've already claimed it right now. 3 teams, in my opinion, from the AFC West will be going to the playoffs. And I think the Raiders will be one of these 3 teams. So, hey, check it. Let's see what happens. Nathan definitely saying Mark Davis is not playing games. He ain't. You're absolutely right. Nathan said, check out the podcast interview with Darren Waller with Ryan Clark. It was really good. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to do that. The West is going to be bananas. Best division from the bottom to top now easily. Absolutely. And look, Bobby, in a close second, the AFC East with moves that you guys made, moves that Buffalo's made, and, New England's still sitting pretty. And, hey, and the Jets ain't even that bad. You know what I mean? On paper with some of the things they're doing. So that's going to be interesting. Which of the 4 will miss the playoffs is the question. You ready for this one? You ready? I don't know if I should hit this with the guarantee, but you know what? We're on Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast, and when in Rome, you do as the Romans do. The Kansas City Chiefs, ladies and gentlemen, will be the team that misses the playoffs next year.
Guaranteed.
Let's go. And and when it happens, This will be me. Just so we're clear. All right. Just so we're clear. Let's go. Look, Chiefs dumb. Yes, Ash. Yes. They will be at home with the Dallas Cowgirls. Let's get it. Let's get it. Does that make me crazy? Yeah, maybe it does. Maybe it does. We will see. Hey, in my opinion, I wish all four could make it in there, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Anytime Mike Tomlin is considered the last place team division, you can talk about the top division in football. Wow. Hey, speaking of your division, let's go right in. I mean, this might be speculation. This might be, some people might agree or disagree. I personally think the Cleveland Browns made some pretty solid moves. And I'm not just talking about the big move, the elephant in the room, Mr. Deshaun Watson. We all know what happened there. And then Amari Cooper, Ash. I know you love that move. That was so good. And you know what, Ash? Can you talk about in the comments what happened right after they signed him? Did they restructure his contract? I don't know why I'm so excited about that. That is so great. Not only did you lose him, but then he restructured. Oh, this is great. Yo, shout out to the Browns are making moves, but I think that they lost a major piece in the puzzle in Jarvis Landry. I think he was the one that kind of kept everybody level-headed in there in Cleveland. Baker also potentially on his way out. So that's going to be interesting. A lot of different teams looking at him. But look, that defense, I always will believe in them. I already love what Myles Garrett is doing, and they made a couple re-signings on that defense. That offense goes and comes with Deshaun Watson. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, because I too believe that it's a very running offense. You have two of the most dynamic running backs in the league, in Kareem Hunt and my boy Nick Chubb. But we know Watson can definitely take the top off. He can definitely get it done. I know the Texans, he wasn't that great in the last couple years. People tend to forget about how he was in the AFC Championship, a couple years back, and he was in the playoffs for a solid several years. So I think he can definitely do it. I think he has the success. He has the makeup to do it, to bring them success. My issue with them is something that I think the Swintons brought up on Sunday. It's that they are a running offense. Okay. So when you have a running offense like that, kind of like Steelers, you bring in a quarterback that doesn't lose you games, but you don't necessarily have to bring in this guy that's super flashy up and down doing all this stuff. I just feel like between Watson and the running game, it's there might be a little friction on who gets what touches, because when Baker's there, we didn't have to worry about, Chubb and Kareem Hunt not getting their touches. They were dependent on. But I'm wondering if they will depend on Watson, or if they will kind of let him run wild, and maybe somebody else will get a little bit of issues. It's going to be interesting. Prepared to a 5-course meal, the Chiefs got Hill for absolutely. It's not the Cowboys couldn't, it's that they wouldn't. That was the best point you said on Sunday. I loved it. He got COVID and then talked about his frustration with the team, and Jerry doesn't play that. Jerry's proven he's still in charge out there. Oh, without a doubt. Ash brought that up. Shout out to her big brain on that one. There we go. Let's go. It's going to be very interesting in that division. But, I mean, sticking right in that division, I got to give Pittsburgh a passing grade for what they've done in free agency. Pittsburgh, in my opinion, getting Mitchell Trubisky, shout out to that guy, North Carolina alum. I think that was a solid move. Also, I talked about it earlier on Washington Football Weekly. Them getting Miles Jack, Sid. I know you are so excited about that. That is going to help solidify the middle of that line. They also picked up another corner that played with Minka Fitzpatrick at Alabama. Sid, hit me up in the comments with that. I know you had mentioned it. Pittsburgh they're going to be a force to reckon with. They're absolutely going to be a force to reckon with. Shout out to my guy, Sidney Swinton, who says he guarantees that they're going to win the division. I got to disagree. I think it's going to go back to the team that won the AFC this past year. They got a little help on the O-line like Pittsburgh did, but Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, Mr. Jamar Chase, Mixon. You know, they lost Ozuma, but I still like what the Cincinnati Bengals have going on out there. But as I talked about from the beginning of this, the Ravens made some big moves. The Ravens did what they needed to do, and the team goes and comes with Lamar Jackson, his health, and how that offense can get rolling. But watch out, AFC North, because Lamar's not going to be without his 3 top running backs this year. Okay, Lamar's rookie wide receiver is not going to be hurt for the whole first half of the year. They're going to be a solid team. Watch out for Baltimore. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Levi Wallace. Tar Heels. Sweet 16, baby. How sweet it is. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. I have to quiet it down. My producer is in the other room. Letting me know. Got to keep it quiet. It's all good. If the Steelers mess around and get if they get Tyrann Mathieu, if they get the Honey Badger, that, you know what? Just drop the mic and just roll out. Because you need to watch out for them. I think it's going to be good. We've seen what they can do. Health obviously plays a big factor in all of this. And I believe it's going to be interesting in the AFC North. You know, definitely not one of the more highly touted divisions, but they have the Browns winning. I don't think the Browns will. Lamar Jackson, if you're nasty. Yeah, but that D would be disgusting in Pittsburgh. But they definitely have made some major moves, and I'm excited about that. Definitely want to talk about Tampa. Anytime you bring back the GOAT, Katie, I don't know where you're at. Anytime you bring back the GOAT, hey, there you go. You're always winning in that way. They also were able to re-sign Chris Godwin. They were also, or to extend Chris Godwin. They would re-sign Leonard Fournette. You know, Edelman's been practicing. Gronk is still available. You know, Tom has a way of bringing some of these guys back, and I'm very eager to see how he does that with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. And with how weak the NFC is, you got Aaron Rodgers, who doesn't even have his number one guy anymore. You got Matthew Stafford, who's another team that's definitely winning free agency, who's still, until somebody can dethrone him, he's the defending champ, so it goes through him. Outside of that, who else do you have? Kirk Cousins? Dak? Yeah. Dak? No, not at all. All right? I'm telling you right now, Tampa Bay knows that they have a great opportunity to run it back, and I am very excited about that. Oh, Asan Favre 2.0, drama boy. Look, could have been that. I think you know what? It's funny. I shout at Sid because I think Sid hit the nail on the head. I think one of the things that happened was he might have been leaning towards it, and I think somehow Adam Schefter got a scoop that was maybe the decision. Oh, is he leaning towards it? And then put it out there. You know what I mean? And they did. It's funny because they did a commercial that past year where they talked about about the bad cell service or what the phone commercial, and he said, "Oh, I'm trading." And what he meant, it was stocks. He's like, I'm trading stocks. But everybody immediately jumped on it and said, oh, he's getting traded. He's trading. He's coming here. He's coming back, blah, blah, blah. I think that's kind of what happened. They jumped at it. They wanted to be the first one to get that news. Drama. Yeah, it's always drama when he comes back. He just didn't want to be a parent. That's what it was. He said, Giselle, you still do this. I'm sitting out here. Ash said, I hope Gronk goes somewhere else. Would be interesting. He said he played with Joe. Oh, DJ, Mr. Smokey Smooth, I could see him going there, or Josh Allen, because everybody else seems to be going to Buffalo, which is another team that definitely won this trade after they picked up Von Miller. Dear God, who's that? A 6-year contract? Oof. Watch out for Buffalo. I told you that's my team in the AFC, led by that massive piece of magic. My homegirl, Janae Southern, absolutely loves these guys, and I think they're gonna do some big moves this year. And I got them going. I think they finally put the pieces together. They got everybody back. They made some definite solid acquisitions. I got Buffalo repping the AFC in the Super Bowl. That's me personally. Picked up Case Keenum. No, sorry. But he is a solid. He's a proven winner at backup. I think he will be solid. O.J. Howard to help at tight end. Offensive guard, Rodgers Satterfield. Shaq Lawson from the Jets. They got Tim Settle from us, which, he might not be a household name for you. Very underrated, but he is a solid D tackle. Definitely came in and made big moves for us. They got Daquan Jones from the Panthers and Von Miller from the Rams. And they also re-signed Siran Neal and Isaiah McKenzie, kick returner. As we've seen, that move with Von Miller definitely puts them over the top. And it helps a team that didn't need that much help. There are a couple injuries and a overtime rule away from potentially making it to the AFC Championship. They were in the AFC Championship 2 years ago. Their time is coming. They are due, absolutely. And Bills Mafia, ladies and gentlemen, Bills Mafia will be jumping through tables in the Super Bowl this next year. And what they said? Guaranteed. Oof. Let them have it. Let them have it. Yeah, buddy. One more team I do want to dive into that is winning. My team that I picked to go from worst to first, the Jacksonville Jaguars. He has them on here winning. I think they're kind of in the middle, but they've made so many solid moves that I'm kind of like, I love the moves that they've made, but my question is, for what price? Christian Kirk got a major deal. Zay Jones got a deal. Evan Ingram at tight end. They paid our guy, Brandon Sheriff, buku bucks, which is good for him, but I don't know. Foley Fatakuse for the Jets. Foy Olakan from the Falcons. Darius Williams from the Rams. They re-signed Laquan Tradewell, somebody that I was definitely all about. Also, Cam Robinson and Tyler Shatley. They're going to get their guy, Trevor Lawrence's college teammate, ETN, back, who's definitely going to get, do his thing, along with James Robinson. You're absolutely right. Jag signed everybody and their mama, and they absolutely are ready to come out this year. We know the Texans got a lot of draft picks and a lot of things from the trade, but right now they don't have anything, so they're not going to be they're not going to be in contention. And the Colts, they've made moves, but they had a far superior team at the end of the year, and that divisional game, they got whooped. They got whooped by Jacksonville, and now this Jacksonville team is on paper looking to be a pretty solid team. Let's see how that transitions to the season, because I don't know if it will transition, but we need to move on, ladies and gentlemen, because there was a middle crowd in this. There's a middle group that kind of did a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I'm going to start with my guys. I'm going to put it in there. We are in the middle. I'm going to go a week ago today. We had like 2 or 3 moves. Everybody knows it's we are Commanders. Dum, 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 dum. And we already know we got Carson Wentz, Commander Carson. He's with us now, and a week later, I feel a lot better than I did last week. But as you guys know, if you follow Let's Talk Football and every show that I've done, every word that comes out of my mouth after Carson Wentz is unfavorable. So you see how this kind of works itself out. Hopefully, he will be able to take top off defense, and we'll get that Carson Wentz from a couple years ago. That is, I'm excited about that. Outside of that, though, we really haven't done many things. Because of the Carson Wentz move, we had to cut Landon Collins, Eric Flowers, Matt Ioannidis, Seto, you saw he was gone. We lost a number of key pieces to our team that it worries me a little. It does. Now, we did sign Andrew Norwell. He was a guard for the Jaguars, and I'm excited about that because we're going to get him for a lot more affordable than what we had before. We re-signed Bobby McCain, which is a starter at safety for us. And J.D. McKissick decides, hey, Buffalo, you might be going to Super Bowl, but Washington, I don't know why he decided to come back, but I'm excited that he decided to come back. So let's go. I'm loving what that offense could potentially do. honestly, if we were able to potentially pick up a wide receiver in the draft, which is what I'm looking at, I'm liking this move. I'm liking it. Now, maybe I'm being optimistic, but hey, shout out to my guys, to the Commanders, because I believe that we could do little something. Hey, shout out to Baltimore. They signed Eric Flowers. Good move. Hopefully he gives you a good year or a couple years like he gave us this year. I really love that. Outside of us, a couple other names that really haven't done much. Ash, since you're here, Dallas. I know you guys made a move today, but we talked about Amari Cooper, which, like you said, it's not that they couldn't sign him. They wouldn't sign him. He's your number one guy. You've put all that money into bringing him in here. Why not make that move and keep him there for who they love, a draft pick? Shout out to Ash and Janae, who were saying, hey, Dallas loves their draft picks. And so they put big time and money into that. They re-signed Michael Gallup. They re-signed Leighton Vander Esch. You know what I mean? These guys that they picked up. They also re-signed Dalton Schultz, which is solid. They need that tight end because Dak loves his tight ends, and safety Malik Hooker. Big move, I do believe, is getting James Washington at wide receiver. Now, I don't think he is as good as Amari Cooper, but I definitely think he will be a big move. And Dante Fowler. Dan Quinn is the defensive coordinator over there. So Dante Fowler, I think, will fit right in Dallas. I hate to say it, but yeah. What is it? He could be use of service. Yeah. Oh, they didn't sign Eric Flowers. Okay. But yeah, no. So it should be interesting to see what Dallas is able to do this year. Obviously, I hope for their demise. But see, I'm trying to be unbiased right now. I definitely think that re-signing a couple of these guys was good, but letting Amari Cooper walk, Randy Gregory, that just really messes with me, and it makes you think: is it the Jerry Jones in there? Is it Stephen Jones doing it? Is there trouble in Dallas waters? There's things going on in there. It's going to be quite interesting to see how they're able to play it out, and what other situations do they need? What other positions do they need to really fill right now? I'm eager to see where they go from here. Another team that is in the middle, in my opinion, the Detroit Lions. They've been kind of quiet. They got DJ Chark from the Jaguars, which, hey, I like that move. There's nothing to really jumps off the page, but it's the original TB12. All right, Tim Boyle. They signed him back. Josh Reynolds, they re-signed him. Charles Harris and safety Tracy Walker. But at the moment, they really haven't done much else with that. Maybe they're waiting for the draft. Obviously, they got a couple. We're still looking at the after effects of the Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff trade and everything like that. And we know Detroit's got a couple draft picks that they're going to be able to use. And we'll see what happens in the draft. I'm excited to see what moves they make. But right now, I mean, they've really been non-existent. They've absolutely really right now been non-existent. And I don't know. We'll see. But as we see, you could be non-existent and still be okay. Now, the Saints, another team that's kind of non-existent. Now, what we know, if we talk to Ash, we know that the cap is a lie. It absolutely is a lie. But the Saints were one of these teams that didn't have any money. Negatives. They were the negatives, but and that might have been a reasoning behind why a lot of moves were not made. Obviously, Williams, we know that he left and he went to Baltimore. What they did get is Contavious Street from the 49ers. Marcus May from they got Marcus May. They re-signed him. They got him back. And Jameis Winston. They re-signed that guy. But they had to make a lot of cuts. They lost out on a lot of people. Man, it's going to be interesting to see what the Saints do. As we know, Sean Payton is not there. Drew Brees is not there. I don't know what to predict about the Saints right now because I personally don't see them doing much, especially with Tom Brady coming back. Now, Atlanta is not doing it, and Carolina is not, so I think it's Tom Brady and the rest, in my opinion. So we'll see how that whole situation plays out. Couple other teams that really haven't done much. New York Giants. Tyrod Taylor, Matt Breida. Oh, they did get Matt Breida. Ricky Seals-Jones. You know what I mean? A couple offensive moves that might help. Offensive guard Mark Glowinski and center John Valencio from Buffalo. So they've got a couple people, nothing that really jumps off the page. They still got to figure out what they're going to do with Daniel Jones. Now, they do have 2 top 10 picks, so we are very eager to see what moves they make in the top 10 because they haven't really done anything right now. They really haven't. And personally, being in the same division, I'm glad. But at the same time, they're another one that had money issues even coming out of the season and going into free agency. So, it might be that they just did not have the money to make the moves. But we'll have to take a look and see what they do in the draft, which is where I think they're looking. Minnesota, another team that's on kind of in the middle on the bubble. They were able to pick up Harrison Phillips. They got inside linebacker Jordan Hicks, which is a big move. Zadarius Smith from the Packers, huge move. I really like that they were able to do that. They re-signed Kirk Cousins, $35 million. We know certain people, go green, go white, are excited about that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Nathan's talking about with as far as the Saints that Kamara and Thomas will want out at some point, if not already. Thomas, we already know Michael Thomas does not want to be there as shown evident last year when he really did not try to play or wasn't able to play, didn't even get the foot surgery until midway through the season. Kamara also had injury issues. So it's going to be quite interesting to see. Bobby says Thomas already had 1 foot out the door. See what happens Kamara in a legal situation. Yeah, absolutely. So look, right now, it might just be the best thing for the Saints to just implode. You lost your coach, quarterback, now your best running back, your best wide receiver. Hey, bottom out. Let's build from the scratch. You know what I mean? Let's see what happens for next year. And that's Minnesota. They're another one of these teams where it's kind of like you're in the middle. Now, with Devontae Adams not being with in Green Bay, I'm eager to see if Minnesota is able to maybe take another step up. I know a lot of people are wanting Kirk Cousins to take that step and lead them, having Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook on that offense. You're like, you have the weapons, let's get let's get to the playoffs and farther than just one game. So Minnesota is another one that last year out of 17 games, they were in 14 of them. When I say in 14, I mean under a 7-point difference throughout the game. So that's going to be a move that they're going to have to make, is finishing games, and hopefully they'll be able to do that. Now, I'm going to move on, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I thank you so much for being here with me. Nathan, I hope I'm holding down the fort for you. I'm just trying to do the best job I can, my guy. Let's talk about the losers. Now, one of the teams that's on the losers thing is Steelers. I do not agree with that. I don't think that they were a loser because of some of the moves that they've made right now, and they already had a pretty solid team. Wait for the draft. I think the Steelers will be solid. Chicago, this is where I wish I had my guy, Mr. I want the smoke, Nicholas Rosario. Yo, diehard Bears fan. They have made a mild moves. Allen Robinson, they got, he's obviously no longer with them. Khalil Mack is no longer with them. Tariq Cohen is a free agent. They've a lot of moves they've made right now lead you to believe that, hey, they're not trying to do anything positive. They're just trying to say, forget it. It's over. We don't even care. But honestly, I was talking to my guy Nick, and Nick was saying, this is what we wanted. Last year, they did not, even though they went and they picked up Justin Fields, he didn't think they were going to the playoffs. He didn't want them to sit here and go all out for it because they didn't have the team. They wanted Nagy out. Nagy's now out. They have their new coach. They have their new GM. Start from scratch now. Get these bad contracts out of here. Get these guys elsewhere where that they can, get their money and play on maybe a winning team. And you start from the beginning. You can still get a couple victories from Minnesota, in my opinion, because they always give up victories somewhere. You can get victories from Detroit because they're still building themselves. So, but at the same time, Chicago is playing the long game, and I'm excited to see how they do it. I'm excited to see how they said they haven't addressed their own line and they need receivers. Yeah, but I think they're not trying to this. I think a lot of us get caught up in what the Bengals did. We have to get it this year, and we can win it and make it happen. And oh yeah, let's put a couple pieces here, and we're gonna do it. I say they're gonna have a shout out to Sidney Swin. They're gonna have a huge cap next year. You know what I mean? Sit here, you get the foundational pieces. Get a couple of those little pieces, but you don't really worry as much about this year. You come on in the draft. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. You guys are up here in the comments. Let's see what you guys are saying. Bobby said, Bobby, you don't want the heart to be heartbroken in Miami. Miami and Pittsburgh playing this year. It's going to be quite interesting. Okay. They had an opportunity to get Russ, Jimmy G, or Matt Ryan. Huh. Are we talking about – I think you guys might be talking about Pittsburgh. Yeah. Yeah. I like Mitchell Trubisky personally. I think this is I think it's going to be a solid move. What's going on, Mr. Handy? Ladies and gents, the newest sports talk mogul, building an empire one show at a time. The one, the only, Mr. Sean Spencer. What's up with you, mate? How you doing? Oh, man, thank you so much for joining me in this evening as we talk about this offseason. Trying to get to some of these comments. We did sign 2 O-linemen, Nate, and it's a very deep wide receiver draft. Very true. Very true. You got guys the likes of Drake London, Traylon Burks, Jahan Dotson. We're going to talk about it a little bit. David Bell, Mechie, Williamson, Alec Pierce, Calvin Austin III, Georgia, your boy, Pickens, Eric Azuma, or Eric Ezukunala. You know what? We'll edit that one out. There is a very deep draft, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how this stuff plays out going into the draft and into this coming year. Nathan saying, not saying Mitchell isn't a bad option, but they could have made some offers. Oh, it's interesting. I think the Steelers kind of played it like we did. Trubisky's the same and all those other quarterbacks, younger and much cheaper. And I think that was the big part. The cheap, getting it for a good price, and you didn't have to lose much, and he's not going to lose you games per se. Now, we will see, again, it is about the fit. It has to fit with the team. So we'll see how it plays out. Another one of the teams that Nathan said as far as losers is the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I think I have to agree. I think, yeah, they lost their guy, the only quarterback that's outside of Chris Chandler to ever get them to the Super Bowl, in Matt Ryan, and he went to the Colts. Now, they did get Marcus Mariota. I have always been high on Marcus Mariota ever since he came at Oregon. I loved him. He played in the national championship game. I was all about him. We never were able to get him. I thought he had that kind of dual threat aspect about him. And one of the only quarterbacks to throw and catch a pass. He threw a pass. It was tipped to himself. He caught it in the playoffs. Man, I like Marcus Mariota. I like what he brings. And with that offense, he also picked up Damian Williams there and Casey Hayward from the Chargers. Re-signed Cordero Patterson. I definitely think they are not a winner at all in this free agency, but we'll definitely see how the draft plays out. Falcons have dead cap this year. Yeah, 40 million dead. So insane. Yeah, so they definitely they're another one that I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony, I think they're another one that needs to kind of implode. I mean, they were right towards the end of the year. They were in the playoff hunt. They had an opportunity, but I think they lost Russell Gage to Tampa. Absolutely. Thanks, Sid. Yeah, I mean, play for next year. Play for the next couple years. There's nothing. Tom Brady came in your division. You know what I mean? You ain't coming in here and winning the daggone division this year. Go ahead, start getting guys in the draft, start rebuilding. Atlanta, an end of an era with Matt Ryan being gone, but definitely kind of let's just see what we can get back from the Ridley situation, see what we can get back from this and this and that. But let's move on. Let's keep going towards the future because it ain't happening right now. We'll forever be grateful for what Ryan did for the Falcons, but it was time, unfortunately. Arthur Blank managed to bungle that too. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yes, Cordero Patterson decided to stay. I'm excited that he did. Cordero, Marcus, and Kyle can't do it alone. Absolutely. So that's why I think you build a foundation. You keep drafting the right way. They have a top 10 pick. I believe it's 9th. You can, this point, you can get a quarterback, maybe second round, maybe a little later in the draft to back up Mr. Russell Wilson. I mean, not Russell, Mr. Well, I don't know why I say Russell Wilson. Oh my goodness, he was on my mind right then. To back up Marcus Mariota. Yeah. Skill set different. Playing style similar. We'll see. Yeah, Nate finally signed Matt. He said, oops, they finally signed Patterson. See, we're all doing it this year. Joe Flacco to Matt Ryan 1-0. Throw a little shade on here. He's still not on camera, but he's in the background. He's coming at you. He's coming at you. Another team that I want to say as one of the biggest losers, and Sid, you might argue me about this. One of the biggest losers this offseason is the Green Bay Packers. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the Green Bay Packers. We all know we were talking all offseason. Is Aaron Rodgers going to come back? Is he going to leave? Is he going to Denver? Whatever, what have you. He stays in Green Bay. But he will be the only one. We already know Darius Smith left, is no longer with the Packers. He's with Minnesota. And there's another guy that's no longer with the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, number 1 receiver and his only receiver of true quality. Mr. Davante Adams is no longer with him after their whole little last dance YouTube or IG posts and all that stuff. Davante Adams is gone. He's with his real best friend, Mr. Derek Carr, out in Las Vegas. So I honestly think that I don't know what you do, Aaron Rodgers. Like at this point, I'm like, do you renege on the deal and say, hey, no, really, I'm really retiring? Because if you lose your only super real threat at wide receiver, it's going to be interesting to see how this season plays out in Green Bay, because that was one of the real threats coming into this offseason was if they're able to get Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams back, we'll see what happens. But they were not able to keep Davante Adams, and Aaron Rodgers is going to have to figure something out because Randall Cobb ain't Davante Adams or Jordy Nelson or any of these guys that he might have had that were his number 1. And it's going to be very interesting. Nathan said, does this mean that Aaron is the issue? Well, I think Aaron has always kind of been the issue. Now, some people have said Aaron is a very good locker room guy. And I think that's more of the kind of like the Tom Brady effect. Like, we don't want to be mean to this guy because he's an amazing quarterback and all this stuff. Is he the issue? I think he creates too much excess noise that might be a distraction, and he might be able to be above the distraction, but I don't think the rest of his team does. But at the end of the day, for Davante Adams, I think it was a money thing. He didn't want to be franchise tagged. He was able to get a big dime deal elsewhere, and now learning about the closeness between him and Derek Carr, yeah, it was definitely, I can see it now. In hindsight's 2020, I can see now, what why the move was made. Aaron might as well be playing tetherball now, right? Look, Anthony, you, me, Nathan, we can all try out for Aaron right now. And hey, look, I bet he'll take us too. Watch. Not Aaron. It's his beard. Hey, and all that, and that slick back hair and all that. Yeah. He seems to be too much more amendable when he's clean shaven. Huh. Yeah. Very true. This will be interesting. And the last but not least team on this list, Nathan, you don't have it up on here, but I'm pretty sure you agree with me. The Houston Texans, they also have totally lost this offseason. We knew all the stuff that went on a year ago with them bringing in Cawley as their head coach, who in my opinion was a fill-in. They had the whole Deshaun Watson issue where he sat out all of last year. Davis Mills, I'm going to shout out to him. I'm very glad that they showed up and showed out, and hopefully they made enough good tape for people to, take a look at him. If he stays there, that's great. If he goes elsewhere, hey, shout out to him, man, because I know coming out of Stanford, he was not very highly touted, but he definitely proved that he can make a solid move. But outside of that, I mean, we know Deshaun Watson, he is no longer in Houston. He is now in Cleveland. Now, there's still some legal stuff there, but as far as going to another team, potentially playing, Deshaun Watson is now a Cleveland Brown. So that leaves us with the question, what is Houston going to do? Now, we know the draft picks and all the things that all the compensation they will be getting. So maybe they can make some moves with that. But outside of that, it's kind of like, I feel bad for you. They made an addition with offensive lineman and Cedric Agbui from the Titans, offensive guard AJ Cann from the Jaguars, linebacker Jalen Reeves-Maybin from Detroit. Re-signed Chris Conley, Malik Collins, Camu Grugier-Hill, Christian Kirksey, and Desmond King. And it's great for them to do those moves and everything like that. But let's be very honest. I don't see anything positive coming out of Houston this year. I see a bunch of guys that are still trying. They're still going to be playing, but I see them at a very high draft pick again this coming year. So we're going to definitely take a look. See, let's not put them out, put their fire out just yet. Let's see what they do with the draft, but it's going to be quite interesting. It's going to be quite interesting, no doubt. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, winners, losers, and again, the free agency is not over. The draft is not here yet, but it is definitely something that I'm eager to see how it plays out. Now let's move on to the best available players and where will they go. Ladies and gentlemen, we know about a lot of the big moves that have already happened. And I guess, we really want to think about right now who's left. You know what I mean? Who's available? Who is still out there? You know about the Teron Armsteads and the J.C. Jackson and Von Miller and Christian Kirk, Randy Gregory, all these guys, Chandler Jones, Sheriff, all these guys that got picked up. You know about them. Now let's take a look and see who didn't get picked up just quite yet. Let's see that. Take a look at that one. And again, thank you so much for being with me, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Sean Spencer, stepping in for my guy, Big Nate host of Big Nate SportsTalk Podcast. And we're sitting here just talking about free agency and the best players available and where they land. Obviously, the top player on this list is the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. Nate says Honey Badger to the Chargers. That would be dope. That would be nice. Now, Derwin James is there, so I'm wondering if they push one to free and one to strong and kind of go from there. But that would definitely be a huge move because, as we know, he is definitely still available and still wide open because that's interesting. Another guy, Julio Jones. Yes, he's 33. He's older. He played that 1 year in Tennessee. Where do we think he ends up? For a while, I wanted to say he'd make a good fit over and bring him back to Atlanta. But now I'm kind of like, Indy? We've talked about the Indy doesn't have very many weapons outside of Michael Pittman and maybe Mo Alley Cox and in the passing game. We know they're a very run-heavy team. Maybe they get Julio. It's a big move. Bobby Wagner's available in free agency. What do you guys think? I know he's 31, but he's still solid. He wants big. He wants big the money, but at the same time, you need to have somebody like that, a quarterback on the defense. Somebody that I'm looking at personally. I want to look at Jarvis Landry. You know what I mean? In my opinion, I feel like if we were able to get, since we have a lot of young wide receivers in Washington, we got Terry McLaurin, we got Curtis Samuel, AGG, Dax Milne, what's my boy we just picked up? Cam Sims. Got a lot of young guys, and I think what we need is an older guy to come in there, settle everything down. Me personally, I wanted to get Jamison Crowder. I was talking about that earlier. I really wanted him. He knows the system. He knows our team. He knows the area, and he's a definite surefire. I need a guy that's going to get me a catch, a guy that's going to do great on third down for me. So I definitely wanted to look in that direction personally. And I think he did, however, get picked up. Jarvis Landry, he's another one. I think he can come in, really help a team. One of those guys is the first guy in there in the morning, last guy out at night. Definitely something big. Trey Waynes just got let go by the Bengals. Corner, only 29 years old. What do you guys think, ladies and gentlemen? I really like Trey Waynes. And, I mean, I would love to bring him in. We got names like Stephen Gilmore, who are still available from Carolina. All right, as we say, Tyrann Mathieu. Dwayne Brown, left tackle. Now, he's 36, so he's up there in age. But you got Akeem Hicks and JPP, both defensive ends in early 30s. These are a bunch of guys right here that are still available. And I'm eager to see where some of these guys might end up. Will Fuller is another one that you might be able to get for a little bit cheaper, but he has still got a lot of good years left. I love this time of the year because you don't know. You really don't know. A couple of names, Carl Nassib. I like him. I'd like to bring him. Guys like that one older, and they want their money. Right. Oh, absolutely. Hey, more power to them because one injury and you won't be getting nearly the amount of money that you would hopefully get at the top of your game. And if you're shooting for that 1-year deal or that major thing, you might look at Von Miller. He got it. And I don't think he's near where he used to be, but he proved that you give him in the right situation at the right time, he will be elite when he needs to be elite. He's got 2 rings, ladies and gentlemen. So, shout out to him. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys that are still available. Free agency is not over yet. And definitely take a look and see, look at your team. What do you think you need? Cap is definitely an issue, but shout out to my girl, Ash. She said, cap is a lie. Definitely cap is a lie. We already know. But, check these guys out because the free agency isn't over and there's a lot of moves that is still left to be made. Absolutely. Now, we are getting close to the end of the show, but as we've said before, we were dealing with free agency, and that's kind of what we're dealing with now. And it leads us into the NFL draft, the implications. Myself, Nathan Snell, did the mock draft 1.0, and I got to tell you, Nathan, it was absolutely one of the best things. I had so much fun going back and forth, and I've gone back and looked at all the picks that I've made, and I've already judged them and critiqued them and gone over them again. So stay tuned. We will definitely be having our mock draft 2.0 soon. I will hopefully be coming on here. One of the draft implications now, Washington doesn't need to go after a quarterback. Now, and Pittsburgh does another team. We got our guy, at least that's going to be the starter for us this year. Maybe you get somebody couple rounds down, maybe 4th or 5th, maybe a Carson Strong if he's still available. But as far as getting your guy or getting a major guy at like number 11, we don't need that. It's not necessary. I'm very, very eager to see what we do at wide receiver. I think we have one of the deeper wide receiver drafts in recent memory. Drake London at USC, Treylon Burks out of Arkansas, Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. You got Dave Bell out of Purdue, Mechie and Williams out of Alabama, Alec Pierce, Cincinnati. Calvin Austin III out of Memphis. We got a number of wide receivers that can take the top off of defense and that are just solid wide receivers. So I'm eager to see where we go. Nice. Yep, Sean Spencer will be on NFL Mock 2.0 draft, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, buddy, lock it down. I'm with it. Another place that I'm personally looking at is inside linebacker. We need to do it. We went at 19 a year ago and got Jamin Davis. Number one thing they said about him was he was raw. That was 100% accurate assessment. He is raw. great athlete, great body type, but he just, it's got to be a fit. It has to fit, and that's something that we definitely are gonna. We're gonna see, and I don't necessarily want to go inside linebacker at that position, but we're gonna see. A lot of these teams have multiple picks. Jets, the Giants, multiple picks early in the draft. You look at a team like Atlanta now, who beforehand we were looking, did they get a quarterback? And now he's like, oh well, Matt Ryan's gone, Mariota's in. Do they still maybe look at a quarterback? Maybe not at 9, maybe a little bit later. And then you look at a team like, the Steelers, or a team like maybe the Chiefs, or somebody that's later in the draft that might want to move up and make a trade a la the Giants and the Bears did last year for the Bears to get Justin Fields. So there's a lot of things that are happening now, but with all of these moves, it changes the whole dynamic of the draft. You know what I mean? The Raiders aren't looking as hard for a big name wide receiver. Unfortunately, they lost Ruggs from a year ago, but then you got Devontae Adams. So now you're like, oh, we're good. You know what I mean? So, and same with Miami, you had, Jalen Waddell, but now all of a sudden you got Waddell and Tyreek Hill, and you're like, oh yeah, we're going to be all right. So there's going to be a lot of different moves that will need to be made, and I'm excited to see kind of how everything plays out. Again, ladies and gentlemen, definitely tune in for myself and Nathan Snell as we do the NFL Mock Draft 2.0 coming to you soon. And I am excited. I can't wait to do it. Maybe a couple more trades in this thing. I've been really working on some trades. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor and a pleasure to be with you on this evening. I am so glad that Nate gave me an opportunity to do this. I apologize. I went a little bit over. Kind of still kept it within, an hour and 15. We will close this out in an hour and 15. But I so appreciate you allowing me to do this. Definitely want to make sure everybody understands my guy, Nathan Snell. Actually, matter of fact, I'm going to do that in just a second. Real quick, want you to be tuned in for future episodes, including episode 12 that will be coming to you, I believe, this Friday. And we're going to talk about Kathy Engelbert's comments on Brittany Griner and the other WNBA players being overseas. Definitely, you're going to want to look into that. I know that situation with Brittany Griner is tense. It's rough. It's keep her in your prayers as she still is detained over there in Russia amid all of these crazy things that's happening. So I don't necessarily know. I don't know for sure comments, but I think I kind of know the direction that they were going. The Kathy Engelbert comments. So stay tuned for that, because I know my guy is going to do big things. Look, he already saying, he said, I'll be back on, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, buddy. Absolutely. Yo, so definitely, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for that and many other episodes that will be coming on. And hey, real quick, I'm going to give you a little closing message. Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, I am so glad that I was available to do this. I just got off another show, came on to do this, but when my man, Big Nate SportsTalk Podcast asked me to come on and guest host for him, I was an honor and a privilege to come on here and do this. And ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, Nate makes this look easy. This is not easy, between figuring out all the notes and all the different stats and the players and the comments. And, it's one thing when I have another person that I can rely on and talk to on camera so I can go look up stuff. Nathan does this stuff by himself multiple times a week, man. This dude is a professional, okay? ESPN, watch out, because he about to come and take over. Please believe it. Oh, my goodness. Yo, so I just want to tell you, shout out to you. Number one thing. This goes for you, Nate. This goes for myself, Nick, all of us. Take care of your health. Take care of your health. If you have a little tinge, a little sore, don't brush it aside. Take care of it. I am number one. I'm looking right myself right in the mirror. I'm the number one person that needs to do this. You got to take care of your health, because you being dead can't help anybody. You got to be alive to be able to make a difference and help people. take care of your health, ladies and gentlemen, because it's a big deal. It absolutely is. So very glad I was able to do this. So glad we were able to get on here and talk football. I can do it all night long, but the producer is in my ear giving me that wrap it up warning. Give me that wrap it up warning. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and let you go. We appreciate you guys coming in here, spending a little time with us, talking to us. Hopefully, taking care of yourself is very important, y'all. Absolutely. Hopefully, I did you justice, man. I know I'm no Nathan Snell, but I tried. I tried my best, man. I tried my best, yo. So again, appreciate you allowing me to be on here. Nathan Snell will be back with you Friday night, 10:30, talking the goods, the news and notes, talking about WNBA and the Brittany Griner situation. Stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for our mock draft 2.0 coming to you soon. Definitely make sure you're able to stay tuned. Check that out. It's going to be something. It's going to be exciting. See if you have the same picks that we have. And I know I tell you one thing, you definitely going to love it. Guarantee. Yo, all right, people. It was fun. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.
Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.